PETA. I think most of you who have been on the internet for long enough probably know who they are, and probably have some idea of all the controversies they've been in. I mean, these guys straight up killed a guy's dog. They claim to be animal rights activists, but constantly do things that no logical activist would ever do. This video isn't necessarily about all their crazy controversies, as much as it's about their games. Yes, you heard me, games, because PETA makes games, or at least they have. So, what happens when an animal rights group tries to save the world through video games? Well, you end up getting some of the weirdest, loudest, and sometimes downright baffling parodies the internet has ever seen. And honestly, considering just the amount of games they made, I decided, hey, I might as well compile them into a video. Besides, most of these games are so short, they can't really get a video on their own. So, join me as we enter into the shocking world of PETA Games.
PETA!
Join me for what?
If we could be the Martin Luther King for animals, why not? You know?
My nigga.
So this is basically just a game where you play as a tanuki who's been skinned and is chasing Mario because Mario wears a tanuki skin. I guess PETA viewed this as animal cruelty, which is so weird because I don't think that you can even hunt tanuki in Japan anyway. And I don't think that anybody's supposed to take this literal. Like, he skinned a tanuki? Like, no, that's not how it works. But yet PETA, being the people that they are, couldn't let that slide, so they made this game. It's not good. This game is really bad. And like, here's the thing. I'm not particularly the biggest fan anymore of these sort of retro games where you can easily just die by falling into a... yeah, you know, but I understand what good game design is, and this just doesn't have it. This is more comparable to something like Flappy Bird, which is just supposed to be insufferably hard. It's something like a classic Mario. Because the way this game works is you don't have a choice in whether or not you run. You cannot stop, and if you stop for a couple of seconds, even though you really can, the only way you stop is by literally getting blocked by an object, you end up dying and have to restart the game, which means you just end up replaying this game over and over and over and over, and it's pretty annoying. Overall, I tried, and I just ended up jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping and trying to fight Mario, even though I can't do that either. I just have to grab him. Yeah, I keep going. I end up playing this game over and over and over again. Maybe I'm just bad at these retro style games, but to me, this game fails at basic game design, so I'll just blame it instead of me. You know what? There's no way I've died again. You know what, man?
A few moments later.
And, that's how the game... Wait, okay, so I just take my skin back? Okay, that works for me. And, that's how the game works. You just chase after Mario and get your skin back. I guess that's just how it works. Okay, PETA. So, as far as these Pokemon games go, let's start out with Pokemon Black and Blue. It's obviously a parody of Pokemon Black and White. It starts out with a bunch of text I honestly don't care about. Immediately, I'm thrown into a battle as Pikachu, fighting a crazy-looking Pokemon trainer with a baseball bat. I have a few attacks, 2 normal attacks from Pokemon games, being Quick Attack and Thundershock, and 2 PETA exclusive attacks, called Group Hug and Protest, that don't really do anything. Basically, Thundershock is the only way to do any real damage. I eventually beat him and get a T-Pick. You know, it's been a while since I've watched the Pokemon anime, so I honestly struggle to pronounce some of these names. But I end up naming it Big Man. Why? Because I just think it's funny. After beating this guy, I get a walk with my team. Just 2 Pokemon for now, but that's not so bad. I don't get much of a chance to explore because I'm immediately stopped by Nurse Joy. She doesn't heal me or anything, instead she gives me a treasure chest with a video. That video contains a bunch of footage of animals just being abused and tortured. Yeah, I get what they were going for, but it's pretty heavy-handed. I now enter a battle with my 2 Pokemon. I'm not making much progress with Thunderstrike or Quick Attack, so I finally realized that Big Man is the real MVP of this battle. He does way more damage and barely takes any. Professor Jupiter, or whatever her name is, doesn't really stand any chance. I destroy her while taking almost no damage. She ends up fainting, I guess, and I end up getting a Snivy to join my team. I struggled with a name for it. Honestly, I didn't really know what to call it. I wanted to use the name Boss Man, except I realized I already had Big Man on my team, so that just didn't make any sense. So, in a bid to come up with a really stupid name, I chose 120 420. Why? I don't know. I just thought it was funny, and maybe some part of me is still stuck in 2016. I end up walking some more. I find a treasure chest again, but this time with no Nurse Joy, and I unlock, well, a wallpaper. Wow, so 2012 of them. Oh yeah, there's a Mudkip and a Snorlax. They don't join my team, so they're basically nothing to me. Like, these guys, like, why don't you join my team, man? Like, fucking traitors. Then I enter what I think is the final battle with Gensis. He's got a pretty wild design, or I guess redesign. Basically, they just incorporate a lot of Pokemon into his design and basically make it look like he's wearing them as a skin. It actually weirdly works pretty decently. At this point, I'm wondering if Big Man is really the best choice. I question it enough to go to my Pokemon screen, and I end up sending in 120 420. But he does almost no damage. I end up having to switch back to Big Man, who loses half his health almost immediately. At this point, I don't really care. Big Man faints, I barely do any damage, and it's up to Pikachu to carry me. Thunder Strike does a lot of damage, but I lose a ton of health as well. 124-20 finishes him off with one last hit so that I might get the ultimate victory. After this, I end up getting an Oshawott. I end up naming it, well, YNS. Why? Because I'm immature. I don't know, man. Can I say? I yearn for the hood. After the fight, I end up getting another treasure chest, and when some cards appear. I'm supposed to print them out or something, but obviously I don't have a printer because, like, most people don't. I mean, I guess that they thought that I was either going to play this in school or that it was the 2010s when most people had printers in their house. I don't know. Well, I end up running into my final battle. Ash Ketchum in a circus outfit. Yeah, this is interesting. He's covered in blood and looks terrifying. Turns out the Pikachu I've been playing as is literally Ash's Pikachu. There's even dialogue where Ash says he never asked Pikachu if he wanted to fight. Pikachu was just a tool to him. Pretty messed up. I played safe and sent in YNS. I only have 2 Pokemon left, and I use Water Attack, which somehow does a decent amount of damage. Probably because Ash hasn't showered in a while. I get a few hits in and end up switching to 120-420, who Ash almost wipes out in one move. By sheer luck, Oshawott's Water Attack finishes him off. Ash apologizes, saying that I inspired him to start an organization to spread compassion. Pokemon Ethical Treatment, awesome. PETA?
Oh, I see what you did there. Real smart.
And for some reason, a Slowpoke shows up. Hey guys, did you hear about the new group that's working to free Pokemon? They're called Team Plasma. Are they saying that Team Plasma are the good guys in this game? What the hell? Cut to the title screen. Congratulations. You've crushed the trainer's resistance and given them a higher call. Now share the message, help others, and remember, there's no place in the world for the mistreatment and exploitation of Pokemon. And the game ends like, wait, what's going on with Oshawott? Do we really need another controversy here?
Pause.
Come on.
That's gotta be racist.
Pokemon Red, White, and Blue. I guess they realized they didn't have enough fun the first time around. And so they gave us this, an obvious parody of like 3 different things. America, maybe the 4th of July, McDonald's, and Pokemon, which isn't even American. But I guess Pokemon and McDonald's have done enough collabs that it kind of makes sense. I don't know, it kind of reminds me of when I was a kid and I got this random back Pokemon toy from McDonald's. I really wanted Pikachu, but never got him. Still pisses me off to this day. Guess I was never meant to be the main character, even if I wanted to be. I start the game. Wait, is that Grimace? You open up with a pre-rendered battle scene. You can't control it, it's just an injured milk tank fighting.
He needs some milk.
When you finally get control, you spawn in as Pikachu. The Hamburglar really isn't that hard to take down. You only have 1 Pokemon and like 2 attacks that do any damage, so it's pretty self-explanatory and straightforward. I finished him off with just a couple of hits. Milk Tank ends up joining my team. Being the immature loser I am though, I had to rename Milk Tank, but I didn't have an obvious name to give him. So, yeah, my immaturity got the best of me. I don't even know if I could show it, but yeah. Anyways, the Hamburglar teleports through some portal, leaving a chest behind with a video, which I can't watch because it is blocked. So apparently the conspiracy is that McDonald's is killing Pokemon and feeding them to humans. But then the twist is that's not true. I mean, Milk Tank's just a liar. Or at least he just jumps to weird conclusions. Or maybe her, I don't know what Milk Tank is. Through the portal we go into the real world. Because apparently this has dimensions or something in it. So we run into this random fat kid, which I guess is supposed to be the average McDonald's customer. I spam Charge Beam so much that Pikachu can't even use it anymore. He's basically useless for this fight. So I bring in Milk Tank, who does a decent amount of damage, but gets wrecked anyway. I'm forced to send in Pikachu to finish the job. After that, Jigglypuff joins my team. I didn't know what to name him at first. I mean, there's so many options, but honestly, I realized Puff is already a decent enough name. But I could have added the daddy before that, but honestly, Puff Daddy just doesn't sound that good if I'm gonna be real. Puff is just such an iconic name. Too bad it's associated with such a piece of shit. But honestly, maybe this guy can redeem it. Maybe this guy can redeem the name. I end up walking past a bunch of these PETA self-inserts who end up giving me a wallpaper. Wow, super 2010s of it. Then I run into these two weird characters. Apparently they're supposed to be parodies of Jesse and James according to some people, but I don't really see it. My battle with them doesn't go very well though. I send in Puff to do some damage, but Puff really isn't useful at all. Like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with him. He just either sleeps or sings. Yeah, I haven't really played any Pokemon games in a very long time, but even with my limited knowledge of how Pokemon is played, this just doesn't work. I end up losing so bad that I end up having to restart. But the game at least lets me keep my progress, and all my Pokemon reset. From this fight, I somehow end up getting Grimace to join my team. Yes, the literal freaking Grimace. I'm not gonna even try to change his name because, let's be real, Grimace is too iconic. So my weird team does the sus walk until they end up running into Ash again, which a little continuity from the last game. Now he's an animal rights activist. He's been completely reformed by PETA. He hands me a treasure chest and then he lets us fight Ronald McDonald. This battle is weird. Grimace can do a decent amount of damage to Ronald, but also takes a ton of damage in return. So the whole thing ends up turning into a back and forth mess. Basically, my Pokemon get obliterated until Grimace is the last one standing. He lands the final blow. And surprise, Ronald McDonald is just a creepy guy in a mask. I don't even know what's going on. So I end up winning the game, and I end up getting basically the same end screen as the last time, just with the actual characters from this game. And that's Pokemon Red, White, and Blue. It's pretty damn bad. It's pretty mid, honestly, but hey, I don't know what to tell you. It's a freaking PETA game, so yeah. Okay, Super Tofu Boy. Now, this one is an obvious parody of Super Meat Boy. It's painfully obvious. So this game starts out with basically Super Meat Boy losing his girlfriend, Bandage Girl, to Tofu Boy. Because I guess Tofu Boy is way better and doesn't involve animal cruelty. Now, this is kind of weird to be fair, because Super Meat Boy is made of meat. Like he's a living creature in and of himself. So I don't even think he's made of like a cow or anything, right? Isn't he just like a boy made of meat? So I don't really know where the cruelty is there. He literally is the meat, if that makes sense. Anyways, though, the thing that's kind of weird is that this game is just bad to play. Like it doesn't work properly. Well, I guess it works, but the mechanics are terrible. I mean, I can't even move my character properly. I just end up falling and end up having to restart the entire thing over and over again. Everything I do, every move I have is super counterintuitive, and it's not even my fault. It's not like I'm even playing this game particularly bad. In fact, that was genuinely questioning my ability to even play. I thought that maybe, you know what, maybe the game isn't even that stupid mechanics-wise. Maybe there's something wrong with me. I loaded up a browser web version of Super Meat Boy, and that's easy. The mechanics are really easy and super simple to understand. The whole fun aspect of it comes from the difficulty of the level design, not from the mechanics. If my jumps do the exact opposite of what I want them to do, that's not you building in difficulty into the game. That's pure incompetence. Honestly, though, what was I even expecting from a PETA game? You know, this is not a video game company. This is literally a group of crazy people. You know what? Honestly, their other games are just way better built than this. So maybe that has in some way messed with my expectations of what I think a PETA game should be. And maybe that's my fault. Now let's play their Cooking Mama parody. This one is probably going to be pretty good, I assume, right? I mean, this one's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, their Cooking Mama parody starts out with you basically plucking a chicken, which honestly is not that hard. You literally just pluck every single feather out of it and your time. And then after that, you have to take out all the vital organs. And God, I hate how these things literally glitch. The hand literally, you can tell how poorly made this game is. After that, though, then you're tasked with stuffing the damn chicken or turkey or whatever animal this is supposed to be. Yeah, this game then has you just basically cook it and make it and whatever. It's super poorly made and it's super short. You can probably play this game in like 3 minutes. I don't really know what I was expecting. Also, I'm not like super into like the Cookie Mama franchise. I don't even know anything about it, to be fair, like that. But I have like a base understanding of what it's supposed to be. A lot of these games I kind of came across when I was doing research for my darkest web games video. There were a bunch of PETA games that initially were on the list, but when I started to pivot to even darker games, I kind of ended up removing them. Also, it felt kind of awkward to have half the list be PETA games, and I thought it would make more sense if the PETA games just had their own video. Overall, guys, I will be hitting you up with some new videos pretty soon. Hope you like this one, subscribe, and peace out.
Pause.